This movie makes a lot of smart decisions for a sequel that not enough films do. First and foremost being that they actually waited a few years before making it, rather than rushing it out as quickly as possible once the first one proved to be a hit. On top of that, the characters have all aged in real time, with the teenagers from the first one now portrayed as young adults. How to Train Your Dragon 2 gives us an older, much more self-confident and capable version of Hiccup, the first film's protagonist. He's matured a lot as a character since then, and this movie wisely makes the decision not to double down on him being a clumsy doofus like a lesser sequel might have. I also love the ways that he and Toothless have improved their synchronization as Dragon and Dragon Rider. First of all, since the finale of the first movie, Hiccup is now missing a foot, which mirrors Toothless missing a tail fin. He's also developed a whole bunch of these little gadgets designed to let the two of them pull off fancy maneuvers in flight as well as in combat situations. It's all really great attention to detail that helps make the world and progression of time feel more realistic. Apart from that though, in typical sequel fashion, I think that pretty much everything else in How to Train Your Dragon 2 was unfortunately a bit of a step down from the first. Where the first film had a compelling story to tell and a set of characters to tell it, check out my review right here, this one feels a lot more muddled. There are a bunch of conflicts set up early on in the film that never really get resolved properly. For example, there's a new conflict set up between Hiccup and his father in this movie where Stoic now wants his son to take over as the new chief of their small Viking community, Scotland, but Hiccup doesn't want to because it's just not him, man.
It's not me.
This is a fine direction to take the story and characters, but it doesn't end up having any real impact on the rest of the film. It only really comes up again at the end of the movie where I guess Hiccup is just ready now. In concept, I also really liked the parallels being set up throughout the film between Hiccup and the big bad guy, Drago Bloodstone.
Bloodfist. Drago Bloodfist.
Yeah.
Played by Djimon Hounsou. See, Drago is a dragon master, like Hiccup.
Dragon Master.
They're both even amputees, but while Hiccup wants to train dragons for the betterment of both species uniting in friendship, Drago only sees Pokemon as tools for him to use. Sorry, did I say Pokemon? What I meant to say was Pokemon. Like I said, this is a great dynamic in concept, but the execution was kind of fumbled in my opinion. For one thing, Drago gets basically no development as a character. He's a big angry guy who screams a lot, and that's about it. Even the opposing worldviews of the two characters is never really resolved, basically boiling down in the end to, "Dragons are our friends, and we should all be able to get along without fighting. Isn't that right, Toothless?" Toothless! "No way, Dad. I'm evil. Blah." "Oh well, I tried. Toothless, use Hyper Beam." Toothless! Toothless! It's super effective, the good guys win, roll credits. Hiccup's mother, played by Cate Blanchett, is also introduced in this movie, and she's fine, I guess. Her character doesn't really have much of a reason to be here, though, aside from advancing the... Wait, actually no, she doesn't really advance the plot either. Yeah, I've got no idea why this character is here. Also, the excuse given for why she hasn't been around the last 20 years is absolutely terrible and makes no sense, but nobody ever calls her out on it.
It broke my heart to stay away, but I believed he'd be safer if I did.
Why?
Speaking of irrelevant characters, the comic relief sidekicks from the first one are even more annoying and get even more screen time in How to Train Your Dragon 2, adding Kit Harington to their ranks. The joke this time is that Jonah Hill and Christopher Mintz-Plasse both want to get with the female twin character, played by Kristen Wiig, but she just wants to bone Kit Harington, because, you know, he's hot. And that's the joke. Yep. Look at his muscles. She sure wants to bone him. Look at his muscles. He's so dreamy. She wants to bone him.
Ooh, like that.
If there is a high point to this movie though, it's undoubtedly the animation, which looks absolutely spectacular. While the first How to Train Your Dragon still looks good, it's definitely starting to show its age a little bit 9 years down the road. This one, on the other hand, still looks amazing. The character models in particular have a lot more detail packed into them than they did the first time around, and hair especially looks great. I'm sitting here looking at this script right now and realizing that it's like 75% negative, but honestly, I didn't dislike How to Train Your Dragon 2, I just didn't think it was as good as the first one. My biggest and really only problem with it was that Djimon Hounsou's character was wasted. It's definitely still an above-average children's film though, and still leaves me excited to see the third one, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, in theaters
this Friday.
Check back here
This Friday
for the review. But what did you think of How to Train Your Dragon 2? Leave a comment down below letting me know all of your thoughts, and if you liked the video, you could help me out a lot by hitting the like button, subscribing if you're new, and ringing the bell to stay updated on future releases. If you like this, I've got tons of other videos up on my channel right now that you can check out right here on the screen. As always, thanks so much once again to all of you guys for watching, and take care.